So there was something I could talk about this video, or I could have talked about, or at least a few things, 3 things in particular, but I'm deciding not to. Well, let's just chill this video, even though I'm not going to be chill at all, depending on what happens, especially RNG things that happen. But Cthulhu, World of Horror, but then we swap the other 2 settings. That again, for those who don't know, that's how I remember it. But as we get into this here, so random item stats, 3 no, I'll just say it after the thing, after the timestamp. So, as we get into Cthulhu World of Horror random item stats, 3 custom mysteries, we start with black hair and running shoes. I mean, well, a piece of black hair, really, if we're being specific. But dexterity, second mystery, Takshisan, second encounter, light, and maybe a knowledge check. And the only other thing to say, as we're actually going to go strength here, is that if you see any other videos appear at the within 12 hours of this video, then it's because I may have finally figured out what was going on. Also, I did not set the hardware store because I forget that I default, and my muscle memory pushes me to the Legal Dead. So never mind. I guess we're looking for the army knife. But if you get ward, you know what? Fair. We did not, but we have ramen, painting, tongue, cult, and stories. So ramen last, painting fourth, so going back, well, I might as well just keep going backwards. Story third, cult second, maybe first, but let's see what happens. I know this is painful, but it's because it's painful, a lot of stamina damage, that I'm willing to take it. We can also now throw this bat at this tongue, but and by those who don't know what I'm talking about, I mean the boss. Also, random item stats. So, away we go! Meat Cleaver being faster would have helped out. 3 funds. Okay, well, below average Meat Cleaver. I'm gonna look for the Army Knife and just see how great my luck is, if we can even get the Army Knife. 6 damage, okay, well worth it. 24 Doom, but well worth it. So, as we visit the monument and move on, again, as I said before the timestamp, if you heard it, I did have things I could have been talking about, but at this point, we'll be fine. Also, Future Jordan may have put in a food jump scare again, but if he didn't, well, depends. Otherwise, yeah, as we're sitting here, I know that, let's just say a certain chronicle has appeared. That's free reason, I'll take it. Yeah, free, so certain chronicles of tales of, legends have come out, and it is interesting to see. We'll see what actually happens if I get it myself, but I will be at least enjoying other people playing it. I have not actually gone through a full playthrough of that game. I've played it before, and I've seen other people play it, but that's obviously a different experience. I do think, I guess, but that's the topic we can talk about today. I do think there is, there are players who can experience a full game by observation mostly, and there are those who, well, I believe more of the time, that experiencing a game yourself is different from a viewing experience, but that doesn't mean that either is invalid, although, as I just mentioned, one is a lot more likely than the other. By the way, we get 18 damage per turn, guaranteed, in 2 turns, of course, but this boss removes 4 stamina, so shrug. But yeah, actually experiencing the game yourself is a different experience. Well, now, it does depend on what you're looking for. Obviously, I would never say to someone, hey, if you're going to compete in, say, X game, no matter what genre it may be, watching will give you as much experience as playing. That would be ridiculous. But if you're, if you're interested in the story of a game, that's when viewing is probably a lot more, gives you just as much as someone playing the game. But obviously, in the realm of video games, playing a video game, just by that word alone, gives you a lot of an experience. But again, I think video games are in a cool place in that they can afford to be, is the experience the gameplay? How much of it is the experience, and how much of it is the, not just the story, but the non-gameplay, I guess, if we're gonna shorten things up a bit. Also, pain. Also pain. Given we don't want Insomnia yet. Insomnia still does more damage. But I'm looking at my Doom and kind of worrying because Cthulhu. Also, I'm just looking down at something and I'm kind of sad. But as we fail the charisma check, which we want to do, to skip the boss here, I forgot what I was going to talk about. Well, I guess I have time now. So, as we sit here and let this doll nurse do what do. Also, that empty bottle, did that empty bottle shift down in my inventory? Huh. Anywho, yeah, not really much else to talk about at the moment. If I am seeming a bit sluggish in my video uploads, it's because I'm trying to make sure that, again, I'm making Little Kitten, which is an RPG Maker game, so that's going to be a very, very short game. But I am planning to release it. Now, hopefully I make it before a good while before Halloween, but if I don't, well, one, I'm just going to be very sad with myself, but two, it would not be good, basically. But it depends on what happens, because there's a lot of stuff happening this month, as it turns out. Surprisingly so, but we'll see what I actually get to do. I am making some finishing touches, but I don't know if it's going to be all I want to do. Not trying to downplay myself. I don't think one should ever really downplay themselves. There's a fine line between humility and... what's the word I'm looking for here? Humility and... what do I want to say here? Or what would be more accurate to say? Humility and to explain, basically not undervaluing oneself, I guess. But at the same time, I mean, I would rather still undervalue. That's worse than overestimating. I've seen what happens when one is too confident or is too arrogant or goes into the realm of arrogance. It's not good. But that's what I'm really thinking about when I am making sure everything's okay, and then announcing whether or not a project that I'm working on is near completion. And then whether or not when I release the project, it'll be successful. That's what I'm trying to say. Whether or not I have confidence in my game is different than saying, oh yeah, my game's going to be great. No, I would rather say the former than the latter. Let's level up here. Nothing. And knowledge. Well, take the knowledge because... we want to be able to sever ghosts more efficiently. Shrug, that's the end of the sentence. That being said, so we are in a thingy now. I think I'm still going to carry these over, say, the wooden bat and the thingamajiggy. Anything else? Because those would deal more damage. I could fight this boss if I really wanted to, but let's just skip that. It is funny, I mean, for immersion's sake, also roads closed, I think, but for immersion's sake, failing the charisma check allows you to skip the boss there. Normally, you would think it's the other way around, but that happening every now and again isn't so bad. And from a strategy perspective, as we enter, yeah, so we're definitely fighting a ghost, so we want to make sure our knowledge is definitely at least at 4, but after this, pain. But, yeah, you would think succeeding stat checks would make your life easier. I'm actually only going to throw 2 of these. I expect to take mine, 2 all damage per encounter. Otherwise, I would throw more, but we don't have enough ammunition for all of this. In fact, I want to save most of the ammunition, or the good, quote-unquote, ammunition for the ghost here, which is what the wooden bat... I think the meat cleaver does 3, so we didn't really have that many more items to throw for more damage than branches and broken bottles, but hey. Corpse dust for extra experience. We don't theoretically need it, but I guess we'll see. So this is another human enemy. This one we just also prep strong. We want to save all of our throw damage for the ghost or the boss. I think either of those two are the most important ones. And usually you want to save it for the ghost because most of the time you won't have the ghost ritual or you won't have the sever damage to reliably two-turn that ghost. So most of the time you will, I think. But let's find out right now. So Mystery 3... and that's something to keep in mind as well, that if you, should I take Reason? I'm gonna take Reason. Yeah, if you save Mysteries for later, enemies will have more HP, but as you can see here, doesn't really matter. In fact, one, I do 5 damage, but actually, I didn't need to do that if I was gonna do that. I should have actually thrown the wooden bat and one-turned this enemy. I made a mistake, but... I thought I was going to do 4 damage. I did not. I forgot that the army knife was doing 3 because it has 6 base damage. That's my fault. Usually it would only do 2 because at base 5 damage, I think severs do 2 damage on top of your knowledge modifier. And to explain, basically, I think base army knife with 5 base damage deals 2 sever damage plus your knowledge divided by 2, rounding down. So, yeah. Or rounding up, sorry. Yeah, no, I'm going crazy. When you have 3 knowledge, you get 1 sever damage. No, I'm going crazy. Never mind, moving on. Basically, the game always tries to make sure you get enough sever damage, and that you're not doing 0 on a weapon attack. But, yeah. Forgot my own calculations. That being said, so we needed an extra 1 damage to deal more damage. I could gamble. And funny enough, if we were at 3 reason, we could have just desperate struggled this most likely. Let me check. Could I have? No, it was going to be a 70% gamble. So if we're going to... We'll just take -2 all damage. Just go on with life. But I forgot what I was talking about. Anywho, throw damage. Off we go. We get 20 experience, but a lot of pain. And yeah, the dullness served her use. I forgot to take out the empty bottle, so I lost 1 stamina there. But hey, things happen. We can use the corpse dust now. This character, whether this character has negative luck now or not, doesn't really matter to me. It doesn't really matter to me. Now, entering painting, on the other hand, is going to be a bit dicey, but I want to take it rather than go to ramen. End ramen with 3 stamina, 3 reason, and then enter painting with like 5 stamina or 6 stamina, 4 reason. Something along those lines. You get what I'm saying, I think, at this point. Anywho, we do get to level up. If I want to be safe, I should heal here. But I'm going to take strength instead. Now, whether or not I'm going to get to level up again is a different question. But until that moment, we're just going to trek through as best as we can. But yeah, as this video is probably one of the filler episodes, I don't have anything to talk about. I'm just focused on game dev in real life. And, you know, with all the research I've done, you can always hope that you do a good job on whatever project you may be working on, or whatever rework you may be working on, in which you did some preparation, homework, so on and so forth, which is, you know, commonly a lot of things. But in this particular instance, I think I know what I'm gonna do. My game is not supposed to take any... Oh my goodness. Can we run from this, by the way? That's 27 HP, -3 all damage. Are you kidding me, man? We're also going to skip the boss. But, yeah, my game is not supposed to take more than an hour or 2. That's the intent. But I am planning to do more with it anyway. I guess, well, I might as well do this because I already have it set in stone. I'm going to do a little bit more with it, but the game will be complete when it comes out. I'm just adding, like, bonus stuff afterward, after its release, so just for funsies. But afterward, I do want to get on to other projects. I forgot to fill the empty bottle again. I'm going absolutely insane. But as we end this on ramen, whether I survive or not, I think I'm excited for the next few weeks. Now, what actually happens in those next few weeks is going to be really interesting. Again, as I mentioned, this week is going to be really busy for me. But on this channel, I plan to do... I plan to start stacking a bit more once I complete Little Kitten. But I guess we'll have to see. I could fight this if I really wanted to. If I'm not going to be healing stamina, I might as well just save on the Doom here. So let's hope we hit all of these. We do. And into... Yeah, so that funny enough, we can go back-to-back encounters here. It's fine. But would like to instead win. Probably should have actually taken the stamina healing, but it's fine. If we run into out of funds, we'll trade off Doom. Yeah, so now I kind of regret not taking the stamina healing, but... take the reason damage here, funny enough. I know we have penalty damage, but we have the Mystery Yakitori. Might as well use it to my advantage. I don't have time for it. And off to the lab we go. We could grab... Well, no, it doesn't matter. I was going to say, we could do a thorough investigation, but we're not going to level up the lighthouse anyway. And even if we did, it would be more a luxury than a... Woo, that was like, oh yeah, I saved my resources perfectly. No, it would just be extra experience. Maybe, depends. But... in most cases, no. So, as we actually get to pass a check, we're not losing 9 stamina, or 9 stamina, so I don't need to worry about that. I will level up here for the sake of doing so, but nothing else happens here, like literally nothing else. So we just sit here and move on with life. Or we just start walking up this lighthouse. So yeah, without further ado, as always, give a suggestion if you have any suggestions. I'll at least think about it. I need to focus for a moment. We did Tongue into Cult, I believe. And I was thinking about going back to certain past games, but it depends on what I do still have like a plethora of things on my plate. So And on one, at least, so I'll talk about 2 or 3 vague instances. So in the first instance, I wanted to actually do a mod of a game. In the second instance, it's also a mod of a game. I also wanted to play with a personally modded version of the game. I don't remember what it is. I'm just going to say it was the boss. I think that was the boss, but it was not. And the third case, I have some recording issues. Now, it's not anything that I'm going to be releasing within the next 24 or 48 hours, but just know that much. But yeah, not going to take up much more of your time then. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you later. Bye!